I heard the noise. I listened to the noise. I told her. I said to her. There are many confusing verbs in English that students often use incorrectly. Let's fix that. Today you'll learn how to use these 21 confusing but very common English verbs. Welcome back to JForrest English. Of course, I'm Jennifer. Now let's get started. First, let's talk about hear and listen. And let's review all of these as a quiz. Here's the question. I couldn't, the speaker, because of the loud noise. Do you need hear or listen? I couldn't hear the speaker because of the loud noise.
Can you hear me?
Hear is your ability to perceive sound naturally. So it's one of your senses. This is a passive activity. It doesn't require conscious effort. You could say, did you hear that car alarm at 2 a.m.? I didn't want to, but because I have ears, I heard it. At the beginning of a presentation or a phone call, you can say, can you hear me? Can you hear me okay? How's your ability to perceive me? Now, you could also say, did you hear? Did you hear that Jennifer is hosting a live lesson next week? Notice here, it's to hear information. Did you hear Jennifer is hosting? That's the information. Now, in this case, it's one's awareness or knowledge of news, information, or rumors, and this is usually learned passively. Let's discuss listen. This is when you actively pay attention to sound. So it requires your effort and intention. So if I ask you, are you listening to me? Yes, you can hear my words, but are you concentrating on them? Are you listening to me? So this is very different from can you hear me? Or you could say, I always listen to classical music while I work. So it's your choice. You're actively listening.
Are you listening?
I'm listening.
Now, as a challenge, I want you to create one sentence using these confusing words. And you can do this for each set that we review. So, can you think of one sentence that contains both hear and listen? Here's mine. Share yours in the comments. I can hear music in the background, but I'm not listening to it. So my ears can perceive the sound, but I'm not actively paying attention to it. I'm not listening to it. Don't worry about taking these notes because I summarize everything in a free lesson PDF. You can find the link in the description. Now let's review say and tell as a quiz. Can you, me, what happened at the meeting? Which one do you need? Can you tell me? Tell me what happened at the meeting. Tell requires a person as the object. So the fact that the quiz question had me, that is all you need to know to choose tell. Tell me what happened. You should tell your boss, someone else, you should tell your boss that you need a day off.
You should tell her.
Say does not require a person as the object. What did you say? If you use an object, you need the preposition to. What did you say to her, to your boss? Or you could say, she said we should work late. Now here, we is not the object. We is the subject of the clause. We should work late. This is what she said. She said we should work late. So you cannot say, she said me to go home. She said, I should go home, or she told me to go home.
Well, boss told me to go home.
Also remember, say emphasizes what is being expressed. Tell emphasizes the person receiving the information. And also, you tell the truth and you tell lies. So with these two words specifically, truth and lies, you use tell. That's the correct choice. Now it's time for your challenge. Write one sentence that uses both say and tell. Was that easy or difficult for you? Here's mine. She said that she always tells the truth. So she always tells the truth. This is what she said. Now let's review speak and talk. Here's your question. She, 3 languages fluently. This is easy for you, right? She speaks, of course, she speaks 3 languages fluently. Did you conjugate that verb? All of these are verbs, so you need to conjugate them as well. Just like tell is the correct choice with truth and lies, speak is the correct choice with languages. You speak a language. You improve your speaking skills, right?
Speak to me.
What if I said, let's speak about this later. Let's talk about this later. Both of these are grammatically correct. Speak is more formal and is often used in presentations. For example, she spoke about the importance of adopting AI. This sounds like she gave a speech or she gave a presentation on this topic. She spoke in a formal context. So you might ask, who's speaking at the conference next week? You wouldn't say who's talking. Talk is used in casual conversations. He talked about the importance of adopting AI. The same sentence, in this case, we're using talk. So this could be at a meeting or just in casual conversation. You could ask someone, can we talk about this later?
Can we talk?
Can you write a sentence using both? Here's mine. We talked about how she speaks 5 languages. How did you do with this one? Now let's review see, look, and watch. Do these confuse you? How about this question? I always TV after dinner. I always watch TV after dinner. Always is an adverb of frequency, so the present simple. See, this is passive. Just like here, see, this is one of your senses, so it's passive. It involves perceiving things naturally. I can't see without my glasses, so it's your sense of sight.
I can't see!
Or, did you see that bird? You could say, no, but I heard it, your ability to hear, your ability to see. Now look, this is focus effort to direct your eyes at something specific. You need to look at your audience when you're speaking, because if it's an audience, it sounds like it's more formal. That's why I used speaking. Don't just look at your notes. Look at your audience. Conscious effort.
Look at me.
Now watch. This is when you continuously look at something and something that changes or moves. For example, you need to watch the kids closely. So continuously look at them with focused effort and the kids are moving around. Now, because of that explanation, this is why we use it with movies, TV shows. What did you watch last night? I watched TV, a movie, or one of Jennifer's YouTube videos.
Watch me.
How about this one? Do you want to see a movie or a show this weekend? This is very commonly used by natives. Keep in mind that the focus is on attending. Do you want to go to a movie? Also keep in mind, this isn't used with TV. So you wouldn't say, do you want to see TV this weekend? So now that you know the difference, it's time for your challenge and you need to write one sentence with all 3. See, look, and watch. Can you think of one? This might be a little more difficult. Take your time, but here's mine. He looked at the painting, so conscious effort, then saw the artist watching him from across the room. He saw the artist, so he perceived with his eyes. He saw the artist, and what was the artist doing? The artist was watching him, so continuously looking at him. That was difficult for me to think of that sentence, so don't worry if it takes you time. Let's move on to bring and take. Here's your question. I'm in the living room. Can you me some water? Which one do you need? Can you bring me some water? Bring, this is movement toward the person. The water is moving toward me, the person who asked.
Hey man, can you bring me a sparkling water?
Take is movement away from the person. For example, in a restaurant, a server, a waiter, waitress could come to you and say, "Can I take those dishes for you?" Now the server used take because the dishes are moving away from the person being the customer.
I will take the free food.
This is why you can't say, "Can you take those files here?" Because here means movement toward a point. Can you bring your files here? Because the files are moving toward a point. Same thing with don't forget to bring your passport to the airport because the movement of the passport is going toward the airport. Now share your challenge sentence in the comments. Again, this wasn't easy for me. I had time to think of these. Here's mine. Could you bring the documents to my office and then take these files back to yours? Because the documents are moving toward me, but then these documents are moving away from me. Let's review fit and suit. Here's your question. Do you think this color, me? Do you think this color suits me? Suits me. Fit is the correct size or shape. You could say, this jacket doesn't fit me. It's too tight. You need a larger jacket. Or you could say, this jacket fits perfectly. It's the correct size and shape. Or there's no way that box will fit in the trunk. The size of the trunk is too small for the size of the box.
It's not gonna fit.
Suit is about complementary style or appearance. So if something is complementary, it means it goes well together. You could say living downtown really suits her. She loves the hustle and bustle. Do you know what that is? Hustle and bustle. It's the busyness, the chaos, the noise, but she loves it. So that's why living downtown complements her. It goes well with her personality. It suits her. You can use this negatively and say living in a small town didn't suit her. Didn't because it's in the past. She already moved to the city. You could put it in the present simple and say doesn't suit her.
Stop, it doesn't suit you.
Now we use this with physical things, clothes, jewelry, makeup, hairstyles. For example, having a mustache really suits him. It goes well with his face or with his style. Now it's time for your challenge sentence. Here's mine. This jacket fits perfectly, but I don't think it suits me. So this means the size is correct, but the style isn't correct. Now let's review learn and teach. I hear mistakes with these all the time. Can you, me, how to use the present perfect? This should be easy, right? Can you teach me? Can you teach me? First, let's talk about learn. This means to acquire knowledge or skills, of course. The mistake I hear is my students say, I'm learning this lesson. This is incorrect. You should say, I'm studying this lesson, or I'm learning different phrases in this lesson. So you're gaining a specific skill or knowledge. The knowledge represents the phrases. I'm learning phrases in this lesson because you're not gaining skills of the lesson in general. It's the information in the lesson. That's why the sentence doesn't work.
I'm learning.
Teach, of course, is to give knowledge, give skills to someone else. She taught me a lot. Or you could say, I learned a lot. Can you teach the new intern how to file the reports? So this isn't specific to a teacher. I'm sure you teach your kids, your friends, your coworkers, things all the time. Now it's challenge time. Create one sentence using learn and teach. This should be easy for you, hopefully. Here's mine. I'll teach you the basics of chess so you can learn how to play on your own. Learn how to play. That's the skill or the knowledge you're acquiring. Now let's review lend and borrow. I know this confuses a lot of students. Can you me $200 until Friday? Can you lend me? Lend is to give something to someone temporarily. For sentence structure, you can use the model to lend someone something. I lent, that's the past simple. I lent my brother, someone, my car, something. You can also lend something to someone. I lent my car to my brother. Both of those are correct.
Larry lent Barry $5,000.
Borrow is to receive something temporarily.
Can I borrow this?
Now, for sentence structure, you borrow something from someone. I borrowed this car from my sister. Can you borrow me some money is not grammatically correct. Can you lend me some money, or can I borrow some money from you? Are you ready for your challenge? Share your sentence below using both lend and borrow. Do you have one? This was a fun one for me to write. Here's mine. You can borrow my clothes, but there's no way I'm lending you my car. And that's probably true. Let's review remember and remind. Can you me to call the client at 3 p.m.? Can you remind me to call the client? Remember, this is when you recall information yourself. I just remembered I need to call the client at 3 p.m. Or I need to remember to call the client at 3 p.m.
I just remembered.
Remind is to make someone else remember something. I reminded him to call the client at 3 p.m., but he still forgot. He didn't remember. Can you remind me when the meeting is? This is the same as saying, can you help me remember this information?
Don't remind me.
Here's a great one. I keep a big bottle of water in front of my computer as a reminder. A reminder is the noun form of the verb. If you want to use the verb, you could say, the bottle reminds me to drink more water. Now it's your turn to share one example using remember and remind. Take your time. Remember, I thought of these before this lesson. Here's mine. I rarely remember my appointments. So can you please remind me to go to the dentist at noon? Now let's review wait and stay. You should at home today if you feel sick. You should stay at home. Stay at home today if you feel sick. Wait means to pause or delay until something happens. For example, wait to buy the computer until Cyber Monday. This is the same as saying don't buy the computer until Cyber Monday. Or you can say, I've been waiting for 20 minutes.
Do you know how long I've been waiting for this moment?
Stay, think of this as to remain in one place, location. Stay in the restaurant, I'll get the car. Or you could say, wait until I get the car. Wait to leave the restaurant.
Wait for me.
Your final challenge. Share one sentence with wait and stay in the comments. Do you have one? Here's mine. I'll wait for the package at the office while you stay with the kids. So stay, remain in one place. Now you know 21 confusing verbs. Of course, you need to practice them, so make sure you download that free lesson PDF. Do you want me to make another lesson just like this? If you do, put let's go, put let's go in the chat. And of course, make sure you like this lesson, share it with your friends, and subscribe so you're notified every time I post a new lesson. And you can get this free speaking guide where I share 6 tips on how to speak English fluently and confidently. You can click here to download it or look for the link in the description. And you don't have to wait for another lesson. I have one right here. Watch it now.